and 7 Spanish angels took another angel home.
Hey, I'm Willie Nelson, and you're watching HempRock TV.
We don't run, and we don't compromise, we don't quit, we never do.
Howdy, friends and neighbors. I am Master Sergeant Tony Vance, the voice of Freedom's Voice. And tonight we're going to talk about a private sector activity. Get straightened down here. During the 2016 presidential campaign and leading right up to the election, Senator Mitch McConnell, majority leader in the Senate at the time and Kentucky senior senator, campaigned on the idea of a war on coal as the reason for job loss in our eastern counties. He spoke of how Republicans will bring coal jobs back to the state. Imagine the surprise in our eastern counties when old Mitch was recently quoted as saying that job creation was a private sector activity, expressing the idea that government does not create jobs. Government does create jobs by its very existence. People have to be there to run government. People have to be there to take your driver's license and change it out and your registration. And all those people are government workers. And they're all paid for by the state. And then on top of that, if the government lets a contract, let's say the infrastructure bill's passed and the government lets a contract to rebuild the Brent Spence Bridge and come up with most of the money for it, they're creating jobs. So it's a ridiculous statement from the very beginning. And the first time I brought this up, and it's been a while, but the first time I brought this up, there is an answer for Kentucky and a lot of other states that they're willing to listen. The cannabis industry. The cannabis industry will save more jobs and create more jobs than the dying coal industry. All Kentucky citizens are waiting for is the assembly to get off their butts and move forward on cannabis legalization. Colorado, medical cannabis since 2012, 2014 recreational. In 2015, they paid $146 million in taxes on $947 million in sales and created 18,000 full-time, well-paying jobs. $2.5 billion in economic activity that year. Now, Colorado's population is 5.5 million, right? And Kentucky's 4.5. So Kentucky would probably see an $800 million market with about $2 billion in economic activity. And you wouldn't have to work hard to set it up. You just go to another of these states that have set it up successfully and copy what they did. You could be up and running in no time. Within 2 years, you could be up and running and selling cannabis products in other states if federal legalization passes, which it looks like it will. California citizens have had legal access to cannabis for, in 2016, it was 20 years. Add 5 to that, or add 2016, 5 years. 25 years, legal access, and none, absolutely none of the boogeymen that we have been over and over constantly told would happen if marijuana were legal. If the citizens had marijuana, the place would go to hell in a handbasket. And if you notice, all the bad things that they say will happen are the things that happen when alcohol is legal. So, it's just replacing a safe industry with an unsafe one. That's what they did in the beginning. Way back in the beginning in 33, all those revenuers were out of a job and it was a jobs program. The idea of giving the revenuers something to do was hot and heavy on Anslinger's mind. He had all them people working for him. They needed a job. So they chose marijuana, and that's what happened in 37. Then in 70, Nixon saw he could use it as a political scam to harass his enemies. And in 1993, John Ehrlichman, Nixon's aide, admitted that were we lying about the drugs? Of course we were. That's a quote. So people in, there are states that would benefit mightily from legalized cannabis, both medically and financially. And yet they still go by the old boogeyman. I ask people, why are we still doing it? Because we've always done it. Well, that's no darned excuse. In 1988, the administrative law judge for the Drug Enforcement Administration ruled that marijuana was the safest therapeutic substance known to man. Now, I don't think he did that off of his cuff. He must have had plenty of evidence saying so. It's the safer drug. Okay? Let's legalize it and put people to work instead of giving money to rich folks so they can sit on their butts. That's it for this time.
Hi, I'm Willie Nelson, and the Willie Nelson Teapot Party and I endorse Veterans for Medical Cannabis Access.
Just roll me up and smoke me